Hey folks, wanted to do a little video today about one of the other things that I've discovered during this whole lockdown thing. I was doing quite a lot of different research about different guitar ideas and just looking at YouTube channels, and one of them is a brilliant channel you should check out called Produce Like a Pro by a brilliant producer called Warren Huart. And he does an awful lot of free tutorials, and one of the things he talked about which really fascinated me was this thing called Nashville or high strung tuning. I'd never heard of it. I've been playing guitar for about 40 years. I'd never heard of this. But when he started talking about it and gave me some examples, it kind of clicked with a lot of things, because there's a lot of songs that you've heard this tuning in, or I certainly had, and you just could never work out exactly how they did that. So it involves a complete change of strings. So I actually invested in this little Yamaha guitar. It's just a little Yamaha 310. Really nice little guitar, and I've used it as a kind of a project guitar over lockdown, so I've kind of customized it quite a lot, and it is entirely devoted to Nashville tuning, because like I say, you need to completely restring the guitar, and unless you want to continually be changing the strings backwards and forwards, it's better to have a devoted guitar. I've already got an ordinary standard acoustic guitar, electroacoustic guitar, but rather than having to change the strings all the time, I decided just to buy this little guy, and I've added a pickup and various other bits and pieces since then. But Nashville tuning, just to get to it, if you imagine a 12-string guitar, the strings on that are, 4 of them are an octave higher. So the bottom E, A, D and G are, they each have another string, a thinner string, which is an octave higher. The B and the E are standard, so they're just unison, so you've just got a doubled B and a doubled E. So if you take the octave set of those strings and put them on a guitar, that's Nashville high strung tuning. You can't obviously take standard strings and expect a bottom E, for example. You can't, there's no way you're going to be able to tune that up an octave without, hopefully the string would break first, but it may break the guitar as well. So you do need to get the strings. So there's kind of 2 ways of doing it. You can buy a devoted set of Nashville high strung strings, and I'll give you a link. I got mine on Amazon. I'll give you a link in the description here if you want to grab those. Or you can just buy 12-string sets if you've got 2 acoustic guitars, and then you've got 2 whole sets of strings, one for your Nashville and one for your ordinary guitar. So it's a kind of a cool thing. But let's listen to how it sounds, just to give you an idea of why you might want to do this. So I've earlier on recorded a couple of just very short chord sequence, strummed and then single chords, with an ordinary guitar, an ordinary standard strung guitar, and my Nashville, and you can see how they sound together. So let's have a look at that now. Okay, so in time-served tradition, here are 2 tracks I recorded earlier into Logic Pro. So the first one is just a standard guitar. It's just a standard sort of big-bodied acoustic guitar, acousto-electric guitar, and I've just recorded it through the lead. So I haven't spent a lot of time polishing this up or anything, so you know, warts and all, but it's just really to demonstrate how the 2 different setups compare. So let's listen to that on its own first of all. It's just a simple chord sequence, strummed first of all, and then just single chords. So let's have a quick listen to that. Standard guitar. Okay, so if we now listen to the Nashville guitar on its own, so this is the Nashville high strung tuning guitar, doing exactly the same thing. Okay, and now let's hear them both together. All I've done here is really panned them slightly to either side because, pardon me, they're both recorded in mono. So just give them a little bit of a sort of stereo spread, but this is what happens when you play exactly the same parts and just double it with the Nashville on top of the standard guitar. So there you go, that's Nashville or high strung tuning, and I must admit I absolutely love it. I've been using this guitar on songs that my partner and I have been writing recently, much more than I've ever now using the standard acoustic guitar. I just love this sound. Even on its own, just love you've got almost like a mandolin kind of sound and almost a bit of a banjo along with an acoustic guitar. You're obviously going to get better results if you spend more time. If you're doing the two guitar thing like I've demonstrated there, you want to spend a bit more time getting your timing exactly right, which mine was a little sloppy, but I think gets the point over. And you want to definitely, I would mic it rather than using the leads. I put a lead and a pickup on this guitar because you can also obviously use this tuning on an electric guitar, but I don't really want to string either my Les Paul or my Stratocaster with this stringing permanently. So putting a single coil pickup, which I'll talk about in a later video, has given me the perfect solution. So if I want to put effects or get a heavier sound or an electric sound, I can still just use this guitar and get it through the lead. So I hope that's been useful to you. Give me comments if you like this, questions, comments, anything you like. I'll always reply to those. Subscribe if you haven't already and hit the little notification bell and you'll get a notification anytime I release a new video. Okay, so thanks again, it's Dave here and I'll see you soon. Cheers.